Welcome to Live on Purpose Radio with Dr. Paul Jenkins, where you will hear inspiring stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Feed your mind with a regular dose of positive energy and show up for your life every day on purpose. Living on purpose means that you have a purpose and you do it intentionally. And now, here's your host, Dr. Paul. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live on Purpose Radio. This is Dr. Paul, the shrink who expands your life.
Let's get a new raw. Can I get a new raw?
And I am here today with Instructor Thomas, who has an interesting approach to living on purpose. And in fact, if you want to really power things up, maybe we could say it that way, or get real and get raw, I think Instructor Thomas could probably help you do it.
You know, it's a love-hate relationship with my clients and myself. So yeah, that's what we do. We change people's lives every day.
Well, you show up here today at my office, and you've got your fatigues on, and you're about twice my size. And you offered to throw me down just a little while ago.
Yeah, we'll drop you if you get things wrong.
So I'm trembling just a little bit. You have an interesting approach to this that you call boot camp.
Correct.
What would you know about boot camp?
Well, I was in the military for 6 years, so there it all started. I wanted to be a police officer, but I couldn't be. I was 18. So I went to a recruiter station, said, yeah, you can be an MP. Signed on the dotted line. Next thing I knew, I was in Fort McClellan, Alabama, doing my AIT training. Yeah.
So you've had some up close and personal with boot camp in your own life.
Yep.
And you learned some things from that you now use to assist not military, but civilians who are looking for some kind of a change in their life.
A big change. It's not only physical, but mental and spiritual. It's bring it back into the fold, so to speak, and to be able to change someone's life where they've tried everything out there. They are having problems in their everyday life, marriage, work. We bring them to where there is a positive attitude somewhere deep that they can get to and be able to challenge themselves in what they do every day and be able to be positive. And so we bring them to that in our camp, which is 6 weeks long.
A 6-week boot camp. Let's save a little bit of that for just a minute as we dig into why you're doing this. Tell us a little bit about your story. How did you get to this point? What brought you here?
You know, all my life I've been wanting to serve people. And in the military, I wanted to go out and help in that aspect. But during that time, there was no war going on. I spent a little time with the Cuban refugees that came here back in '79. And then when I got out of the military, I wanted to go in law enforcement, again, to serve mankind, to help my people where I lived. And then I started training, doing physical things in gyms, wanting to teach and to make a difference with people with struggle with their weight. And I just had a very positive attitude and very energetic. And people saw that aura about me, and I thought, I can do this. I can change people's lives by just showing them that I care and that I know that they can change if they just let me in their lives just a little bit.
So we're not talking about a tough trainer who's cracking the whip and making you do your push-ups.
You know, at first it was kind of like that military side of me, and that because I was on a SWAT team for 5 years also in the law enforcement. So there was a little cynical part of me, and but then the bigger part was to try to help people, but in a tough love scenario. Then as I got older, more softer, I started doing it in a more subtle way, but yet still a very hard and challenging approach.
Still with the structure in place.
Correct.
Interesting. So what is the typical kind of person that comes to you?
The typical person is very much overweight, about 40, 50 pounds,
Okay.
that has tried everything out there in society to get the weight off. Because we all know in society, we have that look good. That's a multi-billion dollar
Oh, yeah.
thing with cosmetics
Big
and
deal.
makeup.
Sure.
And especially with women, they want to look great. And after having kids, most of them have kids, they can't get that extra weight off, nor can they pay thousands of dollars for a trainer. It's very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I can train, keep the money down, and be able to do this every day and to help them, because it's never been about the money with me. The money comes,
Right.
but you have to love them and take care of them. And that's what created this training. Also, I know, and you probably obviously would know too, you're a psychologist. If you can do something or not do something for 6 weeks, it'll make or break a habit.
Yeah.
Most programs out there are about 30 days long. Well, in training, after 30 days, your body's just barely trying to figure out what's going on. And then you get depressed after that, thinking, well, it's over with. And then you go about your merry way. But that extra 2 weeks will change this to make or break a habit. And at that point, they stay with us for a very long time.
And for our listeners' benefit, you were pointing to your brain,
My head,
your
yes.
head, your
Yes.
mind. This,
Yes.
when you say change this, you're talking about a very fundamental way, change in the way people think,
Absolutely.
how they understand themselves, so that they can get out of their own way,
Their own rut, yes.
and then their body follows.
Their body follows. And at that point, they're easier to get along with in society. Their work, their home, their marriage, their kids. They can handle every situation out there that comes their way. And what's nice is a lot of them are on their meds that are depression meds, type 2 diabetes meds, cholesterol meds. And a lot of times, most of my clients are on that. And that when they leave us over several months, their doctors have finally gotten them off that type of stuff.
Wow.
Which I know that they can, and they do. They do.
What is it that's getting in their way typically?
Depression, the EORs, the I can't do this on my own.
That it's that belief, isn't it? That I can't do this. It's not true.
No. I've proven that. I've shown them within 5 days they can move their mountain with one little seed. I know they can. I give them that positive reinforcement.
You've just got to get them out of their own way so that they can do it.
Yes. And when I hear that C word, I can't,
Yeah.
there's accountability for that.
That's when
I drop
you
them.
go drill sergeant
drop.
on them.
Yeah, we get in their face, and we call it loud encouragement.
Loud.
That's what my wife says. Yeah, I don't do the barking anymore. It's softer approach. It's loud encouragement.
Instructor Thomas, I'm not sure we're going to encourage people to come to your facility if we scare them off. There's an element there, though, that's hard. It's difficult.
And it has to be. And
has
that's
to be.
why we're very successful in changing people's lives every day.
So you're not a big fan of the comfort zone.
No, because we all go there when things are tough in life,
Right.
or something's going down that you just can't deal with. You just get in that zone. Well, we break you out of that. Yeah.
If people continue to go back to what they're comfortable with or what they've done in the past that wasn't working, sure, they're going to feel less fear in the moment, but they remain stuck in all of that maladaptive stuff that was going on before.
Right.
So,
And what's nice with my program, even though people very much stay with us for a very long time, they keep re-enlisting. When they finally leave after several months, most time than not, they end up coming back because they start getting in that rut. We're creatures of habit. We slowly get down again into that. I can't be with them every day. They wish I could. They want me to have an app that I can be with them wherever they go.
so they can play your voice in their head.
Exactly. Move it, move it, move it, you know?
There you go. Just repeat this recording over and over
Yeah.
in your mind. We've got you recorded now.
There you go. But so they get a dose of me when they come back.
Yeah. A dose of you, meaning a dose of loud encouragement.
And love.
Mixed
love
with
my
love,
clients.
because you believe they can do this.
I do.
It's them that's struggling with the belief.
Yes. And we make no mistake about it. We call them on the carpet.
Mm-hmm.
We say, you know what? Because right off the bat, we look at their eating habits. I go to their home. I go through their fridge, their pantries. If I see that things aren't being changed, I will come to your home. I see on the network, on the social networking, a lot of times we have to do a Facebook, and I'll see in their home or in their restaurants what they're doing. If they want me to change them, they better change out there too, what they're doing in the public.
So it's more than just lip service. You got to follow through.
Oh, you got to follow through.
You mentioned a word earlier. I think it was off the air before we started the recording about accountability. Talk about that for a minute. How important is that?
Oh, that's one of the key ingredients of changing someone's life. If you can scurry around something and not be accountable for it, then you'll keep going that way. But where I see these people and their challenges, I've done it so many years. I know what they're doing wrong. Even when they fall in formation, I can smell it on them that there's something wrong. I can see in their eyes or in their soul that something's not right, whether mentally or physically. And I call them on the carpet. Most of my clients come to me, they do have problems in their marriage and their everyday life. They talk about it. I guess I'm very approachable. And they say, I'd like to change that. Well, let's start right now. From now on, no more C words. Let's be positive. Let's change that attitude. Let those endorphins fly. And if you get on that wagon or off that wagon, there's accountability. If you get back into that despair. I have one client that she doesn't show for a few days. I text her, where are you? Get your butt here. I know there's issues. Her husband passed away 10 years ago, and still she's having issues. So I bring her back into the fold. You got to get back home. Come back. I'll help you with this. And she does. And she always tells me, thank you for giving me that little push to come back.
I think I know what you're going to say about this, but I had a thought as you were talking about this philosophy. People get this belief that they can't do it, the C word that you hate so much. It's not that they can't, it's that they believe that they can't, and they get stuck behind that belief to where they don't take action. You come in with encouragement where you help them to start changing that belief about themselves, and then everything else in their life starts to change.
Because you and I both know that when we are in deep despair, misery loves company. There are a lot of people in your life that feed on that. Oh, it's okay. Everything will be okay. And look at me, I'm in your same boat type of scenario. But when you come to the camp, things change. And your other PTs, we call you PTs. They're physical trainees. They help you. See, in my camp, we take no more than 7 people in the hour. You're a squad, part of a team. So when you're not there, people want to know, where are you?
That's part of the accountability.
That's part of the accountability, because you let your teammate down if you're not there.
Right.
To go on a mission, you got to have your 7 people, your squad.
Yeah. We're going to follow up on this as soon as we come back. Thank you for listening to Live on Purpose Radio. We're so glad to have you here. Please come by the website, drpauljenkins.com, spelled with a DR. drpauljenkins.com. On the website, you'll have an opportunity to receive a free download. And while you're there, make sure you click on the social media icons. Come over to Facebook, where we will be posting these episodes as well as our YouTube videos and other content and announcements for you to share. Please like us, comment, subscribe, join the conversation. We're happy to have you with us here at Live on Purpose Radio. Let's all support each other to live on purpose. drpauljenkins.com.
You've heard the question 100 times. Is the glass half empty or half full? If we are in negativity mode, we see the glass as half empty. Anyone can see it's half empty. When we are feeling negative, we focus on what is missing and lament the lack of water in the glass. When we are feeling more positive, we see the glass as half full. Of course it is half full. Anyone can see that. We focus on what we desire and celebrate the presence of water. Then there are those who see it as completely full, all the time. These seemingly crazy people are not just positive. They are pathologically positive. Pathological positivity is an empowering mental supernormality that lifts us above the normal perception of reality. It is a higher level of thinking. We see the glass and our lives as completely full, even in the toughest situations. If you've enjoyed Live on Purpose Radio, then you will love Dr. Paul Jenkins' book on pathological positivity. Available now to order, visit pathologicalpositivity.com to get your copy today. That's pathologicalpositivity.com.
Success and failure. We think of them as opposites, but they're really not. They're companions, the hero and the sidekick. Lawrence Shames.
So, Instructor Thomas,
That's right.
I'm a psychologist. I'm over here thinking through what's wrong with this man. No,
this
I'm
guy's
kidding.
whacked.
No, I'm thinking through the process, the principles that are in play here as you work with people to get them out of their own way, past these limiting beliefs that have them believing that they can't do this or that. We were talking during the break briefly about one of the most limiting beliefs that I'm aware of. I can't do hard things.
Hate that.
And it's so demoralizing.
Horrible.
If you can't do hard things, you're toast.
You have to challenge yourself every day, or you become just going with the flow.
Right.
Who wants to do that? Sometimes you got to swim upstream,
Right.
Get out of that. 3 things we live by: improvise, adapt, and overcome. If you improvise in any given situation that we do at Boot Camp with Jess or in everyday life, you can adapt to whatever that challenge is and overcome that obstacle. But that has to be in place. Improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Improvise, adapt, overcome. So improvise, that has to do with using the power of your mind to look at things differently. Because probably if you're facing a challenge in your life, you haven't had the tools in the past to deal with this specific challenge.
Like a wall. If you have to scale it, you have to think, okay, what are my tools? What can I use to be able to do this?
Right.
Both physically and mentally. And if you understand and then adapt to that challenge to say, okay, I can use these tools to scale or whatever, or the corners to be able to reach the top or to jump, then you can overcome that obstacle and say, yes, I did that and I can do it again.
So these 3 things that we live by all go together.
They have to.
You don't separate them out. Well, if I improvise, I'll be just fine.
What do you do? Yeah.
You got to still adapt and overcome as well, because the wall's still standing there in front of you.
And it will be until you make up your mind that whatever that wall is, in your
I'm
life.
going over it.
I'm going over.
I don't know how yet, but I'm going to figure that out.
I'm going to figure that out.
That's such
We
an
help
empowering
them
belief.
figure that out.
I think this is part of the brilliance of your program. I haven't been through your program yet.
Yet, you're getting a taste of me now.
I'm getting a taste, and
I can see some sweat off your brow there.
But you know what? I'm
He's leaning over in his
intrigued.
chair.
Yeah, I'm intrigued because I'm a psychologist. I still get trapped in limiting beliefs, and this is what I talk to people about all the time. Yeah. But I was telling you about an experience I had where I was doing a ropes course, and they had me do it blindfolded. I'm like 40 feet up in the trees on this tight wire.
I'm gonna die.
I know. Listen to all these goofy beliefs. Yeah. I'm harnessed. I've got a belay.
Boom, boom.
I'm gonna die. Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But our mind tells us that. I can't do this. Why? Because I'm afraid. Well, that doesn't mean you can't.
Right.
You were talking about that as well, about taking away the things that we rely on the most so that we start trusting other things.
In fact, for the first 5 days in our camp, we have this program where you cannot look at us. We say eyeball. Can't eyeball me.
Mm.
And the reason why is we take other senses for granted because we kind of look at it as wartime. You've got bombs going off, jets flying off, grenades, boom, bam, beam. In fact, we even turn up the radio real loud during the training in your Hell Week. Reason being to simulate war because it is a war going on. We say a war on fat, obesity, and type 2 diabetes. So we simulate a war. We camouflage you up. We put a helmet on you. We put a vest on you.
Wow,
30-pound
this is all
flag
legitimate,
vest,
isn't it?
right off the bat. And we crank it up and we bark orders at you. And we tell you can't look at us. Use your sense of hearing. Because in wartime, if you've got one squad leader and you can't hear him giving out orders, you're going to be lost and everybody dies. So therefore, you have to pay attention. And this is subliminal too because out there in the real world, you have to be more open-minded about everything around you. Mm-hmm. Don't be tunnel vision. See that? It's tunnel vision. And I'm gripping my fist as a fist with a little hole in the center.
Making a little hole.
Yeah, we don't want to go tunnel vision. We want to open up, use your other senses. Mm-hmm. And that's why for 5 days, we give this to our clients.
It's amazing what you can learn about yourself in that context.
Huge. Just like you in the ropes. You went through that.
You know what I found? I could trust myself more than I thought. And it was like a little light went on in my head.
Right.
Wait a minute. Having my eyes open, it was harder to traverse that course than when I did it blindfolded.
Because you were hesitating because of the things you saw that could scare you.
All the visual distractions.
And that's in life too.
The fears.
The distractions. We have to get out of that.
I have a friend who uses fear as an acronym, false evidence appearing real.
Oh, that's good.
Maybe you've run into that before, but it's false evidence. We make it real in our own mind, and then we get stuck behind that fear.
Stuck. But you got to climb that
It's not
wall.
a real barrier.
Yeah. Smoke and mirrors.
Wow. So you've got a little bit of an unconventional approach to getting people past that, but I think part of the brilliance of it is busting through that one fundamental belief: I can do hard things. When people realize that, what else can you take on in your life?
Sky's the limit. They can take on anything.
Not even the sky.
Yeah.
I got a friend who went up in one of those reconnaissance planes that's way up above the atmosphere.
Huh.
You know, zero gravity. I don't know what they call it. But is the sky the limit? Not even that.
Not even that.
That's the point. There are no limits once you start to live by those three principles. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. It's not that I can't. It's how can I? What are my resources?
And where that came from is my military and law enforcement career. That they instilled that into us. That any challenge out there, you can do that and overcome and succeed. And that's why I'm very successful in what I do. I'm very happy. I mean, there are days that we all get depressed or sad, but
Yeah.
I always tell my wife,
Yeah.
you know what? There's always sunshine and rainbows.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that there are always sunshine and rainbows out there. You got to look at the positive. The negative's there. You can't let it feed that wolf, so to speak.
Right.
Don't feed the wolf, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Feed the hunger, the positive in you.
You're passionate about this, and I'm guessing it's because you've seen this change lives.
Every day.
What kind of results are you seeing, and why?
You know, most of it is visual, the weight with most of my clients, their weight. And in society, the appearances are crucial in a lot of people. But a lot of it, I get satisfaction in when I can see that they're off their medication, their insulin, their depression meds. These, I get great joy when my clients come up to me and say, you know, my doctor took me off.
And their life is different because of it.
Yeah. That they know that they can live a longer life watching their kids grow up. And then
Yeah,
they say,
not
you know
just
what, there's a
watching
new
them.
doctor in town, Dr. Thomas. Yeah. I hear that a lot.
Dr. Instructor Drill Sergeant Thomas, right?
Yeah.
But they're not just watching their kids growing up, they're playing with their kids.
Yes. I get a lot of that with the grandparents nowadays, that they're able to do things with their grandchildren where before they would, you know, walk a flight of stairs. They couldn't. How depressing is that?
Yeah.
You know, these are the stories
Wow.
I hear every day because I do take it personal.
So when we talk about live on purpose, if some of our listeners out there today are feeling stuck, where would you tell them to start?
When I get out of bed, first thing I say to myself, it's showtime. Anything I do, first thing out of bed, it's showtime, and to be positive as you walk out that door. Because things are coming your way, good, bad, and different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just an entertaining that thought that I can take any challenge on this day. Let's get through this.
Bring it.
Just like my clients, I can do anything in 1 hour. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can do boot camp 1 hour a day. But within that hour, it is so filled with energy and positive reinforcement that literally the Holy Grail is right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we instill in people, that you can do this. Don't let that sea monster get you.
Yeah. Beliefs are so strong.
So strong. They just have to
Yeah.
get out of this, the rut, the head games. And so your listeners, showtime, right out of bed. It's showtime.
Mm-hmm. What's possible today? So starting from wherever they are, and I've found that probably you would agree, you can't start from where you're not.
Oh, yeah.
So
That doesn't make sense.
Duh.
Really, honestly, huh?
so start from where you are.
Yeah.
What if I'm 50 pounds overweight? Okay, perfect starting point. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah. 50, it's just a number. If you're 60 years old or if you have a handicap, a problem, with your limbs or your lungs, doesn't matter.
That's where you are.
Yeah.
Start there.
Let's climb that mountain together. Let's do
Right.
it.
Right. And we're not just talking about physical fitness here.
No, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Because what really started somewhere in your life, the mental anguish, the negativity, the things that just build on top of you. And so you talked about comfort food or comfort, living in that comfort. You ended up eating or depressed or woe is me.
Just trying to-
I'm not going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take care of myself. My doctor says I have to be on meds now. I'm going to die anyway. I've heard it all.
Yeah.
You start now.
Which feels a whole lot different than giving up.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that you probably don't tolerate giving up.
No, there is no such thing. That's the giving up, the termination. That's not part of our vocabulary.
You're not down for that.
No.
Folks, Instructor Jess Thomas, bootcampwithjess.com. That's the right website?
That's the right one.
Boot Camp with Jess. If you forget that, just Google Boot Camp.
I'm the only one there.
And they're going to find you, right?
You're going to find it.
If you're ready to take on something challenging, but you know what? Even our conversation here today, what is it that's getting in your way? How do you get in your own way? And can you move past that by improvising, adapting, and overcoming? That, I think, is the core message for
The
today.
very, very core. Get out of the rut. Get out of the negativity. Challenge yourself every day. And say when you get out of bed, it's showtime.
Showtime. Bring it on.
Showtime.
Thank you, Instructor Thomas.
Hoorah!
Oh, yeah. Everybody, it's that time. Go out and live on purpose.
Sweet.